This is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video I'm going to show you how to make a flag headband. This is called our American flag headband. It's stitched around with red and white stripes like the flag, and then we added a little blue band and an embroidery star. Now you can make this star in gold or white, or you can even add a star button if you prefer. To make our headband, we're going to be stitching with our H hook, 5mm. You're going to need a needle for weaving in your ends and also stitching on that little star. And of course you'll need a pair of scissors. Now the yarn we're using today is red, white, and blue in worsted weight number 4. And we're going to be using the I Love This yarn for the headband. You can use a sport weight. This is a worsted weight number 4. But you can also use a sport weight yarn if you want it to be just a little bit lighter, not so heavy if you're going to be wearing it in the summertime. And you can also use cotton. It works great with cotton also. So those are your 3 options for yarn. But we're going to be using the worsted weight number 4 for our demonstration today. Now this is a free pattern on my blog. I'll put that blog link right down in the notes underneath the video so that you can get that if you need it. All right, well, let's gather up our supplies and we'll get started. To get started, we're going to be using our red yarn first, and then we'll be switching to our white yarn to make those stripes of red and white. The pattern is made for about a 20 to 22 inch head. And the way you adjust the pattern is 3 foundation double crochets or 3 double crochets equal 1 inch. And so what we're going to be doing is making 60 foundation double crochets. We're going to make our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 4. All right, we're going to yarn over our hook. We're going to go in this end or 4th chain and pull up a loop. You'll have those 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and only go through the first loop, and that's creating our chain. Then we're going to yarn over and go through the next 2, yarn over and go through the next 2, and that made our double crochet. And now our chain 3 here counts as 1 double crochet, and then we have 1 double crochet there. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go in that chain that we made. You want to try to go through both loops down there. Pull up a loop. Go through just the yarn over and go through just the first loop. We made our chain. Yarn over, go through the next 2. Yarn over, go through the next 2. And that's how you do the foundation double crochet. And you're going to need to do 60 of these all together to make the band of the headband. Now, if you prefer to chain, you're going to need to chain 60, join in a circle, and then place 1 double crochet in each of those chains around if you prefer to do it that way. I prefer foundation double crochet for this project because it makes a nice stretchy edge. So let's do a few more. Yarn over your hook, go in that chain that was made, pull up a loop, yarn over, and just go through that first loop. That makes your chain. Yarn over, go through the next 2 loops, yarn over the next 2 loops. This also is, for me, an easier way to keep track of how many stitches that you made. Yarn over, go in that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first loop, yarn over, go through the next two, yarn over, go through the next two. And you'll notice it makes a nice stretchy band. All right, so we're going to do this for 60 foundation double crochets for our first row. All right, I just have a couple more to finish up here. All right, one more. All right, now we're going to join it in a circle. And we want to make sure that we don't twist our band. All righty. So we're going to join to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch. And then we're going to join in our white yarn, but we're going to leave our red yarn still attached. So we're going to put that yarn over our hook, pull that through, snug that red one down. I usually hold it with my finger, and then I'll hold that white one, and then we'll chain 3. All right. Now we're going to leave the red yarn still attached, and we'll be leaving the white yarn attached when we move from stripe to stripe. And so what we're going to do for this row is we're going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. Yarn over, go in the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. Now, you will notice you have a little bit of an opening down here. We're going to use this tail, and we'll take our needle and we'll close that up when we're done. So don't let that bother you. Now, if you did chain 60 and 1 double crochet in each double crochet, you won't have that opening. Only if you did the foundation double crochet will you have that opening. All right, so we're going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then we'll join to the first, chain 3, and change back to our red yarn. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join. I finished the row of white. I'm going to join to the top of this chain 3, and I'm going to leave my white yarn still attached, and I'm going to switch back to my red yarn. Snug that white one down, hold it with my finger, and then chain 3 with the red. And this is what we're going to be doing for a total of 7 rows. Now, if you don't want it 7 rows wide, you can of course do less rows. But we'll be switching back and forth from red to white, red to white, red to white for 7 rows, stitching double crochets in each row. All right, so we're on our 3rd row. We chained 3, and now we're going to go to that next double crochet and make a double crochet. One double crochet in each double crochet around, just like we did with the white one, all the way around, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3. And we're leaving the red and the white yarn attached in the back because it eliminates us having to weave in extra pieces of yarn every row, and this way it keeps it nice and tidy in the back, and all you'll have is where we carried the yarn across, and of course the beginning weaving in and out, but just makes for a nice, neat finish and less pieces of yarn that we have to weave in. Alrighty, so I'm stitching my red row again, making my stripes, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. We'll join to the top of the chain 3, and then we'll switch back to the white. I stitched up the red row. I'm going to now join to the top of that chain 3. And again, we're going to switch colors. So I'm going to let my red one drop. There we go. Find that right white one. Pull that in. Snug that red one down. Snug the white one down and chain 3. I wanted to show you the inside. These are the 2 starting chain pieces of yarn. And then each row, you'll see there'll just be 1 piece of yarn where we brought the yarn across the row, and it just makes it a lot neater on the inside, and it doesn't affect the stretch of the headband at all. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing, 1 row of double crochets with our white yarn, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, all the way around again. And now we're on our 4th row. I finished this row of white. I joined to the top of that chain 3, and then I went ahead and switched colors again, drawing my red one across the white, and did my chain 3. Now we're going to be repeating what we've just done 3 more rows. We've got 4 rows here, red, white, and then we're going to do 3 more rows, 1 red, 1 white, and then ending on the red for a total of 7 rows of double crochets stitched in the round. Now, once we join our last row, I'll come back and show you how to tidy up this end here where we began, and also how to weave in your ends and tidy up our headband, and of course adding the blue band across. So we're going to go ahead and stitch a red row, a white row, and another red row, and then tie off. So I finished my 7 rows, and I'm going to cut my yarn. Go ahead and tie off this red one. And then we're going to use our needle to tidy it up. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to tidy up this end where we began our foundation double crochet. Now, like I said, if you did it the other way where you chained 60, joined, and then did your double crochets, you won't have this opening. But if you did the foundation double crochet, you will. So you have an opening here, and all you're going to do is take that tail of yarn, and you're going to go right in the bottom of that stitch on the other side, and just pull it closed. And I usually just make a couple of stitches like that. Just to make sure it's going to hold, and then I'll go on the inside and just use my needle and weave it in, making sure I go through stitches going back and forth. Give it a good snug pull because this is going to be on your head. You want it to stay put. Alright, so now we need to weave in this white one as well. So we'll put that on our needle. And we'll make sure that we weave in through stitches staying in the white so we don't mess up our stripe. Going one way, then go back the other. Give it a good snug pull and clip it. And we'll do the same thing on this end. We'll weave these ends in so that they're nice and tidy. And then we're going to make the blue band and embroider the little star on. To make the little blue band, we're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 17. Here's our chain of 17. We're going to begin stitching single crochets in the second chain from the hook. There's our first chain. Here's our second chain. Single crochet, you just go in the stitch or the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops on your hook. So we're going to place one single crochet in each chain across, and this will give us 16 single crochets because the first chain does not count, and we began stitching in the second chain from the hook. I stitched one single crochet in each of the chains across, not counting the first chain, of course. So we have 16 single crochets. We're going to chain one, and the chain one does not count as a stitch. It's just a turning chain. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place one single crochet in each of the 16 single crochets across. And when we get to the end of the row, we're going to again chain one and turn. And we're going to do this for a total of 9 rows of single crochet. All right. We're at the end of the row here, one last single crochet. Chain one and turn. So there's our first 2 rows. So we need to do 7 more rows so that we have a total of 9 rows of single crochet to make our band. Here's my 9 rows of single crochet, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then this one is 9. And the way we're going to put this together onto our headband is I like to put it right over that beginning seam where we carried it across in the back. I like to wrap it right around there, that way it's kind of hidden. And we just wrap it around like that. Turn it this way, and we're going to stitch it together using just simple slip stitches on both sides. So we're just going to go in one side and in the other side and make a slip stitch. And if you're not sure what a slip stitch is, you're going to go in and go across both sides of the band, pull the loop through, and pull that loop through the loop that's already on your hook. Going through both sides of the little blue band that we're adding. You can add about 10 or 12 stitches, however many you think you need to hold it in place. through the end. There we go. Now we'll clip that stitch and tie that off. And then we have this other end here of the blue where we started. And what I do is I go ahead and make a knot. I'm going to tie one like this, because I want to make sure that band's going to stay put. You can add a little fray check to that knot if you want to. You don't have to. And so here is our band, our headband with our blue band on it. And the next thing we need to do is add that little star. And so I'm just going to cut off a piece of yarn. The original display was done with a gold star, but I'm going to use white because the stars on the American flag are white. And we're just going to make 3 stitches, and we're only going to go through the blue portion, so you're going to need to find your center. I'm going to leave that tail out there so I can attach it later. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 rows, and then I'm going to go over here because we're just going to make 3 stitches. So that one is our straight line, which is kind of our central of where we want to make our stitch. And then I'm just going to make an X going across it. That way, and then this way. Now, if you're worried that it won't stay put in the center, you can go right up into the center and just make a tiny little stitch going through all 3 of your pieces of yarn. And that'll help it stay right in the center. Okay, and then we're just going to tie a knot in there so it stays put. And you know me, I always put 3. And again, you can put a little fray check on there to keep it. Clip that off. And there is our American flag headband. Now you can wear this in the center or the side, however you want to wear it. And remember, you can make it out of cotton or even a sport weight yarn for a lighter weight headband. And if you want to use this for school colors, you could do the stripes in different colors. So again, that's our American flag headband crochet pattern.